Hi, this is János, it's Real World Audio, and we are going to talk about the Darling amplifiers, about the one that I described as a recommendation for a pure Darling version, and that was something that I was thinking about to build with operating points that actually now I don't think they are a really good idea for the input tube. I have no clue how I came up with them. I really forgotten about them. I did that about a year ago, maybe. And just on a side note, I was pretty ill during the past 2 years, and recently I'm in a much better place now, but it also means that the thing affected my memory quite a bit. So during the past 2 years, really my head was not really into exact details on many parts of things. I was just really focusing on my job, really, and really all the things that I did on the channel. I was just running on fumes, and now you guys understand why I tried to not to give like schematics and exact advice, and this is the reason why not, because I did not realize when I messed up, and now I realize it because now I have the mental capacity back again. And however, here we just received the full collection. He made a wonderful post that he built the pure Darling amplifier, and he noticed a few things about it. So one of them was so I recommended apparently a 1.5K cathode resistor. That's like really high. I have no idea what I was thinking when I gave such high value with maybe like 18K plate load. That's like super duper low for that type of thing. So what he reported that with like an 18K load and a 1.5K cathode resistor, the THD was just insanely high, 41%, and then he changed it to a 760 ohm cathode resistor and increased the load on the driver tube from 18K to 30K, and the THD went down to about 2%. And what he is now commenting about it, the result, the base extension is amazing, and the mids are a little lacking, but not bad. For low power amp, very good. I have hooked it up to an RP600. So I think one of the things that you might be hearing is maybe the RP600. So I suspect that it does have some issues with the crossover, so that makes the mid-range not so good, because in any incarnation the Darling amps should have an astonishingly good mid-range. So I suspect that the speakers are there to contribute about the lacking mids. And so what he says, what resistor value do you recommend as the input plate load? Because he increased it to 30K. So what did I do? So now, just to make things a little bit more cheerful, now I'm going to show you my actual Darling amp. So let's see what was it that I used. So here we are, and now I'm rebuilding it. So what I'm doing is that I'm tearing out all the guts, all the internal wiring, all the itsy bitsy parts. So I'm leaving the big ones, the output transformers, the filament transformers, the chokes. These two are the chokes. It's a double choke supply, and that's the transformer for the B plus, and that's the transformer for the rectifier tubes filament, transformer for the input tube filament, and transformer for the power tube, the 1626's filament. So you guys see that it was like a really pimped out version, like really like resembling the pure Darling. And actually those recommendations I did about the two-stage double pipe filter choke filtering came from here, from this power supply that I have here. And you see I gave the recommendations for the Hammonds because I'm using them, and they are just much better than their specifications suggest because of the ultra low duty here. However, the question was about the plate load. So now we can see the plate load is kind of butchered here, but we can see it there. So there is a pot. So that's a 25 kilo ohm pot. So that becomes like so we can adjust there the resistance from 0K to 25K. And there's a 33K resistor and another 33K resistor. So those formed the plate load for the input tube. So it's 66 at least, or 66 plus 25, which is like 93 or something like that, right? Or 91, 90, between 99K and 66K. And why I did it as variable load, and that's because this is a direct coupled version, and depending on the tube, how strong the tubes are, the actual voltage on the plate will depend on the tube's condition. And with that pot adjusting the plate load, you also adjust the voltage, and that voltage biases the output tube. So this is where, oh, so this says timer. So I set the timer because now I'm shooting these videos with my new camera, and if these videos get too long, it's just enormously painful to upload the videos. So my last two videos that I made were like 20 minutes, and it took me between 2 and 3 hours to upload them. Just the upload was that long, and it's making me 4 to 5 gigabytes for just a single 20-minute file. So now I'm trying to cut it a little short, but anyway, so here what I was doing is I had this about 66 to 90K plate load, but here, because of the DC coupling, my plate voltage, the high voltage, is not the 265 volts as in the Pure Darling, but I have about 420 volts here. And because of that, I need to use much higher load on the input tube as well, because it's seeing 410 volts instead of 265, so it has to drop way more voltage. But it also means that it has the advantage that I can use a much higher, a super duper high load. And the higher the load, the lower the THD is. So I guess that in this Darling, the THD is even much lower than what you have experienced with the Pure Darling. However, there you cannot use that high load because the B plus voltage is so much lower. So what I think, what I just quickly calculate in my head, that 30K plate load that you use is comparable to what I'm doing here, if we correct for the difference in the B plus voltage. And also one more thing, here for the cathode resistor, I was using 360 ohms, so like a super low value, and it gave me a 1.5 volts bias voltage, so I was running it really high current. And my idea for the Pure Darling was to run it at a much lower current, and apparently, as you have reported, 760 ohms, that's a nice sweet spot. So what I would suggest for everyone is to try out values between 360 ohm to 760 ohm for the cathode resistor and see which is the most optimal that you like. And that 30K plate load, yes, that's really good. So I would recommend trying something, playing around between 30K to 40, 45. Maybe 45 is a bit too much, and you will end up with a way too low plate voltage. But yes, I suspect that 30K is a really nice sweet spot. So now I'm ending this video, and thank you for that really wonderful news that you have built a Pure Darling. I am truly happy with that, and thank you for the extremely valuable feedback, and which is a really good warning and really good eye-opener for everyone who wants to build it, that yes, there is a really good potential in it, but we needed a little bit of tweaking. So everyone, don't use 1.5K for the cathode, use half of that and use 30K for the plate load. Or if the voltages allow, you can go maybe like up to 35K. That's what I would recommend. So thank you for the Darling amplifier build, and this is what I'm doing now as well. I'm building my Darling amplifier, and this will be an electric Darling. So I will continue to keep it as this higher voltage Darling, and I'm a little bit scratching my head how to make it such that I could switch between Pure Darling and this direct couple Darling. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. So bye bye. Thank you.